Welcome to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County. This is about Plymouth County real estate. This show is being taped in December. We're reporting on the numbers for November. It's our last show in calendar year 2023. We'll be talking about the full year-end numbers in the next show in January. But we have a lot to talk about. It's been a very different marketplace than it was a couple of years ago, and I think the story's best told in the numbers. So let's get right to the numbers. The first image you're going to see on the screen is of deeds. Deeds is sales of property. There were 579 deeds recorded in November, less than the 592 in December. 13% less than last year. And the year-to-date numbers through November is that we're down 19% from November up to November 2022. There's been some factors in that. There's no inventory available. Interest rates went from 3 to 7. And a lot of people just aren't ready to move because they're not sure where they want to go, and particularly if they have to move and pay higher interest rates, they're settling in where they are. The next image you're going to see is of sales of property. As you can see, through every one of the 27 communities of Plymouth County, one city, 26 towns, there are sales. Plymouth, Brockton are the biggest two. But every community, even the smaller town of Plimpton, has sales. But they're less than they were last year. But activity's still going forward. A lot of people think in a housing slowdown, that means nothing is getting recorded. And literally, it's about 80% of where we were last year. And particularly in mortgages, we've seen a drop because for many years, people would take out a mortgage when the rates went down. They would refinance the mortgage. So the number of mortgages being recorded was significantly higher. As the rates went up, the number of refinances dropped. So there's a lot of mortgages that are so-called purchase mortgages. And again, with the housing market slow, mortgages are slow. So there were 1,032 mortgages recorded in November, less than the 1048 in October, down 14% compared to last November. But year to date, in terms of mortgage recordings to date, through the month of November, we're down 36%. Next image you're going to see is of foreclosure deeds. We follow foreclosure deeds very, very closely. Many people remember there was a meltdown of 2008 and 2009 when many bad loans were out there and people were losing their houses. They had no equity in their houses, and it was a crisis, so we followed them forward. From COVID time forward, they've been very low. There was a COVID moratorium, so you can see the numbers are very low, only 12 foreclosure deeds in November. And the same thing with foreclosure notices. Foreclosure notice is the first notice we see at the registry that shows people are in trouble. And those numbers are historically very low. 43 for the entire Plymouth County that shows people are having difficulty paying the loan. And if you're having any difficulty, reach out to a federal housing counselor. NeighborWorks comes to mind as someone that may be able to get you a modification. And last but not least, I'll have a great guest on the segment coming up, Tim White. Before that, if anybody's fearful of fraud, go to our website and sign up for a free fraud alert. When you sign up with that, with your email, when somebody gets recorded against your property, you will get an email to your email, and you'll know something's up. Maybe it's something like a discharge that's supposed to go on record but if it's not, you can take immediate action.